started. Charlie will be here shortly. And we've got a sign-up sheet for public comments that Ronnie's got it if anybody wants to sign up. Okay, the first thing is Miss Mertz.
Every time I pass the middle school, I'm wondering, I know you're gonna talk about it in a minute, I'm wondering how things are progressing, whether on timeline or not.
Yes and no.
Cause well, like I said, when I drive by, I wonder about that, and I'm sure you have.
There's a lot going on right now, and there's a lot to finish up in the next couple of weeks. It's gonna be tight.
And I'm sure you have plans that in case
Oh, yes.
you don't.
Yeah, we're working on that too. We got a contingency backup plan.
Cause I think it's gonna be close.
Oh, it's gonna be very close.
So hopefully it'll work out.
Me too.
Anything else, Miss Mertz?
No. Well, I hope that the county commissioner in Union County does not do what Knox County Commissioner do about taking money from the school budget to give local raises for the county, for Knox County employees, not the school board, but the county employees that are not school teachers. They took $4 million from the school board budget. So hopefully we won't be into that.
Well, Missy got her budget approved, or all the budget approved on the 8th, so we're done.
Well,
They can't
that's
touch
good.
it. They can't touch us this year.
We're good. Because sometimes when things happen in Knox County, some people get
Like to follow
ideas.
suit. Out of curiosity, what kind of positions were those? And
They-
that's a large
that-
bill.
They're giving all Knox County employees, not teachers,
Right.
but other Knox County employees a 4% raise,
6%.
6% raise.
But what kind of positions are those?
Everybody, all of them,
Yeah,
like sheriffs,
Maintenance.
all of them.
Parks and
Apparently
Rec.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Police, you know,
And they took it from the school
firefighters.
budget, which ought to be against the law.
Well,
Yeah,
not firefighters, cause that's contract.
How'd they get away with that? Yeah, okay.
Anything else, Miss Mertz?
No, that's it.
Okay, we don't have a student representative, so we'll go down to the special recognition.
Well, I'm excited to announce some really good things that's gone on at Tennessee Virtual Schools. We've had a lot of students do some really great accomplishments lately. We have a math counts team, the National Math Club. They were in a competition that they received a gold level honor roll status. They did a student project, and it was on math with community service, which they actually worked with our third grade students, because these are middle school age students. Only 3 schools nationwide are selected for gold level honor roll recognition in each category, meaning only 9 schools total received this designation each year. So considering the National Math Club serves more than 2,500 schools, it's pretty amazing that our school was one of the 9 in the nation to be recognized. So I do want to make acknowledgement to our teacher sponsors, which is Susan Burns, who is our math teacher, and Heather Dory, our gifted teacher. The students that participated in Math Counts are Serenity Allen, Sean Baggett, Willow Brethen, Theodore Brush, Lily Burns, Harpriya Karj, Savannah Howie, Ramas Mustafa, Alex Tiller, and Devlin Welch. So our school or that team will be receiving $250 as a recognition for that project. So we did want to congratulate those students on that
That's
high
great.
honor for being recognized nationally. Also, we have 3 students that have moved on to the national level for FBLA and will be going to compete next week. We are the only virtual school that was represented at the Tennessee FBLA State Conference. The students that were able to move on to the national level is Emma Pickett. She won first place for Introduction to FBLA. Grace Horvath won first place to Introductory to Parliamentary Procedure, and Madison Aildell third place Introduction to Business and Procedures. The FBLA sponsors are Melissa Adams, and again, they're going to be competing this week in Texas for the national conference. So we're really proud of those three young ladies. And then finally, Grace Horvath, who is also one of our FLA students, she was chosen to speak at a National Parent Leadership Conference last week. So she was in Washington, D.C. for the Parents for School Options. And so she was the national virtual student to be recognized to speak at this conference. So we wanted to kind of give some kudos to good old Grace for her hard efforts in showing some recognition to Tennessee virtual schools and Union County schools. So that's our students of the week.
Awesome.
Thank
That's
you.
wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, moving on, we don't have, the school board attorney, so the TLN update.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Board. I have a brief update for you, and first of all, I'll go over a few meetings that you may be interested in attending. The fall district meetings, well, that's the first one. It's in September. It'll be here in Union County, so hopefully all of us will be here. The summer law in Gatlinburg goes over in detail the bills that passed and the new laws for this year. So that's a great one to go to. It's in Gatlinburg, July 17th and 18th. There's also a few online or virtual meetings that I put on your report there, and there's also the TSBA phone number and website in case you want to register for those. Also, the deadline to submit resolution for TSBA to include in their delegate assembly is September 8th. And I'll remind the board, this is if our board wants to speak on an issue, anything we feel needs to be corrected, needs to be addressed by the state. If we submit a resolution to TSBA by September 8th, it has a chance to be voted on in their delegate assembly, and if it's approved by the delegates from all over the state in November, it will go on their legislative agenda. And that, if we did have something of concern, or if anyone here in the audience has suggestions for us to take up, if there's anything that needs to be corrected or addressed in education, our board can have a voice, and we can do that. We have to have a resolution. Nolan Combs helps you draft resolution. He'll pretty much do it for you if you just call him, tell him what you want to do. And then the board, we can vote on it first if we approve it, and then it can be submitted to TSBA by the 8th. So that's something to be thinking about. There was approximately 90 new laws that were passed regarding education during the 114th General Assembly. I will not read this to you, but I'll just go over a few things. And I know that some of these are in our June policy recommendations from TSBA. So it's a little bit redundant, but to be thinking about a policy on digital devices, and I'm sure TSBA has a model policy on that, but it did pass that we have to pass a policy that prioritizes in-person learning for grades 1 through 5 and limits the use of devices in instruction. It doesn't ban it, but we have to pass a policy on this. So our board needs to be thinking about that and thinking about ideas, and of course if there's input from the audience, and Mr. Clay, of course, if you had ideas. The only other things I'll mention, because in case Ms. Murr might be interested in hearing, personal leave for teachers increased from 2 to 4 days that a teacher earns per year. And there's also, I think, a cap on sick days, eight sick days is, I believe, the change.
They took away from the sick days, gave it to personal.
They did expand ESAs to 35,000. They made some changes to the hold harmless floor. They also made some changes in testing with that legislation. They did try to, they did address the student searches. I know this was an issue with our board because I heard Mr. Clay talking about it a few times. So they did permit a principal designee as long as they're trained. I'm sure Mr. Clay's gotten that information too. So this was in the department cleanup bill, and the language is included now in public chapter. SPED pre-K was behind the budget, but it did not pass to fund SPED pre-K. But they did create a task force, TASER, to report on SPED pre-K, and they understand it's a concern for us. Universal enrollment failed, but it should be back, if that's maybe something our board would wanna do a resolution on. I know Mr. Clay's expressed concern over it, but universal enrollment is expected to be back next session, per TSBA. And then there was a bill passed, the 10 Commandments bill, that it says that it's permissible for schools to display 10 Commandments, the Declaration, the Constitution, the Tennessee Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and a school history in schools, and that became public chapter as well. So if our board wanted to do that, that's something that changed as well. Won't go over anything else, but if you had questions, let me know. Thank you so much.
It has to be, at least 3 of those all together. It can't just be one separate. That's how they keep it as a history piece. And on the other on the searches and things, McCarty came up on June 3rd, he did the update with all of our administrators. So we went through all the search things again. We're primarily sticking to just administrators do the search, not any designees. It's just gonna be administrators.
Did the personal and sick day, that did go into effect?
Yes.
Okay, will that become effective on July 1? Because I'll have to change the programming in local government.
I'll have to double check, but I'm pretty sure it did.
Okay.
I'll double check too.
Okay, you'll let me
I don't
know.
remember all the effective dates.
Okay, so I'll need to change our programming before the first payroll of the new
Okay.
fiscal year.
Thank you.
Anybody got any questions? Okay, we'll move on to school trips, and I'm not gonna read all of those, you can look at them. Some of them are out in December, so those will be voted on tonight.
I will say on the first one, I got with Mr. Washam to go ahead and get that approved, because while I was out on a couple days vacation, and his vacation, we missed it as far as getting it done. We got together to approve that one to go. It was Monday, Tuesday, and went up and came back. It wasn't their fault, it was my fault because of vacation days being out. They got it to me plenty of time. I just didn't get with him before he took off on his.
Any questions on the school trip?
Things disappear. See, it won't go any further.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question on the Union County High School trip. A certain individual
Yeah, be more, yeah.
he's on suspension or something. Is he gonna be able to go on this?
It's already passed.
Do you have the list of who the chaperones are?
Well, they said it's already passed, so it's okay.
Yeah, that one's done.
It was approved
Done.
already.
Yeah, that's
Talking about the first one.
Oh, the first one.
Now, Harold, it was done Monday and Tuesday.
And on that second trip, that, I had 2 copies of the request for that field trip. The one that's uploaded in your Chromebook is correct. It's actually to Indianapolis, Indiana. This one that says that it was to Nashville, Tennessee, that was last year's. So the one you're voting to approve tonight is the one that's uploaded in the Chromebook, that they went to Indianapolis, Indiana, and that was the 16th through the 20th. So the executive committee had to approve it too, because it occurred before tonight's meeting.
Is there a problem with getting them to us sooner, like in May, when we know these things are gonna happen? I mean, we don't just, this isn't a knee-jerk decision on these field trips.
Well, I did have it in May after the May meeting, but since this meeting was moved up a week, you know, our regular meeting's on the second Thursday, so it would have been on time. You could have approved it before if we'd met the second, yes.
Any more questions?
I have a question, but it has nothing to do with this. I was wanting to know on that screen time one, on the pause, do you think you could have some recommendations for us by next meeting? Because if you look at it, we have July, August, and they have to be in by September. So if we had some recommendations by July, maybe we would be able to put together a resolution on that, and I think it's something that we probably need to do.
Okay.
Or is that just something that we need to do just the board here,
Well,
as a board policy?
we have to pass a policy, that's now the state law, that we
Okay.
pass a policy limiting digital devices for grades 1 through 5,
Okay,
or
can
K
you
through 5.
maybe have some kind of suggestion or recommendation
The
before
law, the law's
August?
not like putting 15 minutes a day kind of stuff on it. That's not what the law says at all. It is,
The law says we have to have a policy.
have to have a policy.
We have to
We-
come up with a policy.
Policy, right.
But I'm thinking maybe we need to have a policy that says this is, especially for the lower grades, the amount of screen time, or,
Like the testing scores,
Yeah.
percentages per elementary, middle,
Yeah.
high school kind of thing. That's stuff.
Okay.
I'm sure TSBA will come out with a model policy on that too.
Yeah, this haven't yet, because this just passed.
Yeah.
Maybe Chris can shed a little light too.
Well, if somebody else already has one out there, I don't know.
and then the other one was the pre-K special ed. If we did a resolution on that, if we would have maybe something in place by July, August, so we'd have time to get that in.
Yeah. Do you want to do that, or would you like me to call Nolan and try to have him draft us a resolution
Kinda like
supporting?
I'm gonna pass it off on you. I don't-
No, it's okay. I just don't want to take it from you if you want to do it. But
You can steal it from me.
Okay.
But just tell him it was my idea.
I will.
Anything else before we move on?
I'm sorry, that's all.
You're fine. Okay, the next item is to discuss, contracts. Misty?
Good evening, everybody. I have 7 contracts tonight. The first one being the global interpreting contract. And it is for, it's an open-ended contract that we will keep unless either them or us in writing get rid of the contract. And this is an as-needed basis. We can call them 24 hours, 7 days a week if we need interpretation for any kind of, they have over 300 languages, including sign language. So that is just very handy if someone comes in and you can just call them right then on the phone, and we're billed by the amount of time that they talk. So,
Per occurrence, or per event.
yes, per event, that is correct.
You know what that amount is?
I do not have their fee schedule. I apologize, I only received this tonight. So, but I will be happy to look and get a copy of the fee schedule.
I have a question. Sorry to.
No, no.
Did we not, jog my memory, do we not have this in place for the high school graduation? Right, is that where this come from? Is that?
Well,
No,
is it,
a
that was a
contract
different
for
one, yeah.
American Sign Language for the
Okay.
deaf.
Yeah, this one is covering all languages, so yes, it's a totally different contract. I know
Right.
which one you're talking about,
Okay.
but we did present that one prior to the graduation.
Okay,
I don't have that name in my
This is
head
not
right
new.
now,
We've
but
had this the whole school year.
okay, and that's where I was getting, that's where I was.
It's
Okay.
not for
Yep.
renewal.
this one,
This is
And
the
the
renewal.
one
Try
that
to get
was
my
for
lines crossed.
graduation was Knoxville Center for the Deaf, and they're
Thank
not
you.
actually approved to provide interpreting services, so they can provide general.
But we
public.
still have the same type
But
of
as far
contract with
as-
them as needed.
Correct.
correct.
Awesome,
Okay.
thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay, the second contract tonight is for CSM, which is our E-rate consultants. This is a 3-year contract, and it offers a renewal up to 5 years. The base amount is $5,500, and then we will pay 4% on applications used not to exceed $4,000 for the year. And this one also requires written notice by either party to terminate. This is also just a contract that we've had for some time that we're renewing for this year. And
That's through internet services. Otherwise, you pay a huge amount of money.
Yeah.
Without it.
This,
Was there not something between, with the E-rate last year and a different company?
ENA is who we used to use, we
Yeah.
switched to UDT.
Okay,
but it's the same thing, it's just a different vendor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we changed it over from, to UTT.
Okay, and I will say, with us changing the school board meeting to after the finance meeting, on any contract that's over 1 year, I have to, by policy, take that to the board that is over that contract, and then I also have to present it to the finance committee, and then I have to present it to commission. A 1-year contract, I only present to the board. So I'm gonna have to see if I can get this one on the agenda, because now with the new open meetings rules that have gone into effect from TCA, we have to have the agenda published in advance of the meeting. So I am checking right now with the mayor, because I was not aware of this contract being over 1 year, and to see if I can still get that on the agenda. So we're checking to make sure that we won't be in violation, because the next meeting we're having is a special call, and you can only discuss what's on the agenda. So we're gonna see if we can add an addendum for this reason. So I will be checking with audit tomorrow on that. Otherwise, I won't technically get this one approved until August, because we don't have any meetings in July. So I will.
If there's a lag, there's why.
There you go. Okay, thanks. I just wanted to, because everything affects everything, unfortunately, so. But we are trying to get it on the agenda for next Monday night, so.
I will say with that legislation that passed, because that's on our report too, that they do allow amending an agenda if it goes along with your already done rules of order. So
Is
if
it-
the county has rules of order to amend agendas, then it should be able to be amended.
Okay, that's what we're checking on. So, like I say, if it fell normally, if you all had it last week, then I could have presented it to financial management Tuesday when we had the meeting. So just wanted to let you know about that one, but we are trying to get it on the agenda. Okay, my third one is TCAT, dual enrollment, and correct me if I'm wrong, Greg, but there is no fee to us. They actually pay our
Well,
teachers.
The reason I gave this one to be included is, this is the new dual enrollment agreement with TCAT Oneida for the earth moving class that we're starting next year for the equipment we got in. TCAT Knoxville doesn't have that yet, so we want to partner with TCAT Oneida to offer dual enrollment classes. And Mr. Fugit's one is going to teach it for us, and they'll send a guy down to work with him, get him trained on those things.
Okay, and that one's also a 1 year and written termination between either the parties, and they will actually pay our teachers for offering this dual enrollment class. We get checks twice a year from both Roane State, Walter State, and now TCAT to pay our teachers for their dual enrollment classes. Okay, the fourth one, and I'll get Sean to answer any questions on these, because these are all from special ed. The first one is the Velma Robertson, and it's audiology, and it's for 1 year, and it's 30-day written notice, and it's $125 per hour. If you have any questions regarding that, this is just a renewal of an existing contract that we've had for several years, but it is used for special education. The fifth contract is Chris Cooper. This is our lawn care service. This is a 1 year renewal. He is asking for a 10% increase, and this is for lawn care for the whole district, and that's $94,864 for the year.
Lawn care is not on our agenda.
Okay, all right, then we'll disregard. I'll bring that one back in August.
Do we need to add it? I mean,
Let me,
Well,
need before we put it
we
on?
already approved the renew or continue. I
Did
think,
you? Okay.
A couple meetings ago, I think we did. So he came back and asked Crystal about doing an increase because of fuel costs and all that kind of stuff. That's what he's saying, because he's not had any.
So he really is
increase,
wanting an amendment to his contract
basically.
for cost.
Yeah.
I apologize, I didn't know that wasn't on the agenda.
Okay, so,
I wasn't aware of that one, first I've heard of it.
Just because Crystal emailed me. I didn't-
Okay, well, do you want me to postpone it till August, or, and just have him continue working at his normal price until this is heard?
That's their decision.
Your all's decision, yes.
Or we can, like, grandfather it and approve it for the increase of cost at our next meeting.
Then we can pay him like back pay, is that what
Yeah.
you're saying?
retro it?
Wanna do that? Okay, let me put that on, we'll bring that one back then.
Yeah. He's not went up on his costs. He's had it, what, is this the third year he's had it?
Yes, and there hasn't been any increases until this year, and I'm sure it's due to the gas increase and all that.
Do you have a ballpark of a percentage or an amount?
Subtract 10% from the 94,000, so what was that,
River
9,000?
contract was 89,000.
Yeah, so it's approximately,
So about
yeah,
$9,000.
$9,000, yeah.
We'll need to amend the agenda if we approve that.
Well, we're not going to put it on the agenda this month, we're gonna bring it back in August with all the details on the agenda, and if we approve it, then we'll.
Retroactive.
Back pay.
retroactive
Okay.
Okay.
Back up and pay.
Okay, I will make a note of that, and I will put that on the August, well, are you all having a July meeting?
Well, the board will have to decide that.
Okay, well, I'll wait, so it'll either be on the July or the August, one or the other, so. Okay, and then number 6 is positive behavior. This is also a SPED 1-year contract to assist schools and parents, and if you have any questions regarding this contract, Sean will be happy to answer you. This is an existing contract that we're just renewing.
Did we skip over sidekick?
We must have.
Yes, we did.
I
You
said a
got that, Missy?
sidekick.
Well, I don't have sidekicks, so that's
Is that what Christopher calls his business?
No.
No, Sidekick Speech Services, it's a renewal.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I have that listed as Deborah Curley Communications. Okay, I'm
DBA Deborah Curley, but a Sidekick is incorporated.
okay, I didn't
It's
realize
always-
she had another name.
It's always been Deborah Curley, but she does business as Sidekick Therapy.
Okay, well, sorry. I do have Deborah Curley then. So this is also a renewal of the contract that we've always had, and Sean can answer any questions regarding it. I'm so sorry. This is very disorganized tonight.
You're doing fine.
But since we're up to those two, the two that you may have in your packets, there was a couple of minor changes.
Yeah,
Susie
that's-
Robertson's, there was a typographical error toward the end of that contract. It said 25-26 school year. That's been amended. I have the signed current copy, so that's one change that you would note, that if you ever needed to pull that contract, it's in there. And then the positive behavior supports, there was some language in one of the sections that reflected that they retained ownership of all documents. That had to be amended because it's a joint ownership, since we do contract with them to provide any functional behavior assessments or data collection, progress monitoring for students that have intense behavioral needs. So that's a section has been updated in the current contract.
And you sent those to me, and that's, I make copies of them, and they're 100 pages.
So there's only one you will be approving pending the changes that the attorney has asked for.
And that is the occupational and physical therapy contract with Grace Rehab. It's a billing difference because I had never actually caught it before. This is a renewal contract, but their contract runs from August till June, and we want to align that with fiscal year, so it'll go from July to June.
July to June. So, and that is all the contracts for tonight, I hope.
Anybody got any questions on that?
I do have a question, Missy,
Mhm.
if you know right off, the contract that we are renewing
Yes.
without, not talking about Chris Rivers, but the other ones, has there been an increase on any of those?
Sean.
On specifically looking at those, there was no rate increase for the occupational physical therapy. That's a flat fee per year. We just do a flat contracted amount on that one. There was a minor change in the Deborah Curley one, and that rate.
It's
there were two
95
separate
per
rates.
hour.
Previously, there was a virtual and an in-person rate. I really urge to have all in-person therapy, but that was one of the changes, that both are the same rate now, so there's no one cheaper than the other. Is it
$95 per hour, I believe, is what was in the new contract.
The audiology has been consistent. I think it's $120 or $125 an hour for audiology. And positive behavior supports is $95 for BCBA and $45 for OTs.
Kinda got nothing out of rain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come up and join.
They're not anything large, I mean, they're not.
No.
They're just small increases.
Minimal increases,
The
yes.
Deborah Curley is
Sidekick.
Sidekick, correct.
No.
What type of services are there?
Speech therapy, speech and language.
Positive behavior supports. Where do we utilize those services the most?
Probably the biggest cost, if there was a direct cost that could be quantifiable as far as usage, would be we provide, it's more like a one-to-one assistant, but they're trained in specialized behaviors. They work with students who have significant behavioral issues such as students with significant autism or severe behaviors like self-injurious behaviors, elopement, could be, various behaviors. I can go more in depth, but they work specifically on goals that are identified by the behavior analyst. The behavior analyst is a position that comes in and they conduct what's called a functional behavior assessment to determine why a student has some of those behaviors. And the registered behavior technician is the one that does the intervention for those. Last year we had 2 registered behavior technicians here in the district. Is all we had, so it's not like it's an absorbent amount. We usually try to staff those with in-house folks, but when they are so significant, we have to bring in people that are credentialed and have a little bit more expertise than what we have.
We do have how many in-house?
We don't have any in-house.
We don't have
or
any
BTs.
behavioral.
We have one behavior specialist that works with developing behavior plans because under the federal guidance, there is no requirement that they actually have that credential to develop behavior plans, but in a lot of litigation, it's more recommended that you do have a credentialed behavior analyst to develop plans.
The sad thing is we're getting more and more of these younger kids that are having these extreme behaviors. We have to try to help them. And that requires some of this one-on-one things he's talking about.
Yeah.
And in legislation, when you see this come back up to, we are in the process of developing procedures because there was a state law that did change that requires that schools enter into consultative agreements to allow these RBTs to come into schools. There's an increase in insurance and private medical needs recommending these services. So we do have some of those folks that work with students, but we don't actually pay for those. Those are insurance funded. We're a little bit ahead of the game. We already have a understanding that we provide those companies before they're allowed to have those people come in. So that will come back up because you'll see that in some of the policy too, because we have to, I'll talk to Mr. Clay about this because other districts I'm working with there is a facilities use agreement. There's different things that we'll have to go through to make sure that everything's aligned before we're allowing those folks to actually come onto campus. So it's a lot.
So the PBS people they're not Union County people, they're with this company.
Yeah.
But they work with you all and
We contract with them if there's a student that has significant behavior needs, then that is the outside specialist that I would bring in to do that evaluation.
and they physically come here, they're not just.
They physically come. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. As far as behavior supports, that is something that I'm looking to add, is that there will be no virtual supervision or virtual behavior supports. It's just not practical. Speech is one thing that is a little bit of a stretch, but as far as behavior, there is no virtual will be happening if I can prevent it at all.
And do you feel this company is in line with like Tennessee laws regarding?
They are, and that's in the contract too, that they follow all the federal laws. The behavior analyst that we had through that company, the one that they sent through their contract that was employed by PBS, she is a local Union County person, but she is leaving the company, so I don't know exactly who we'll get. It'll be somebody of equal credential, but it could be someone who lives in the Knoxville area.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Okay, we'll move on to the director's monthly report.
Okay, you'll find in your packet the monthly reports for the month of May. We should be at approximately 92% of our spending at the end of May, and we are very much on track with everything. Down through there, you can look at it, and I'll be happy to answer any questions if anyone has any. And if not, I'll move on to the budget amendments. Okay, these are the first of my year-end cleanup budget amendments, so there are 10 pages to go through. Pages 1, 2, 3, 4, and the top and 5. And the top of 6 are all Fund 141, and these budget amendments are, this request is to move funds within the appropriated budget as needed, to enter funds from other entities, to enter in the summer learning camp grant that funds our summer school into the budget, and also to fund the middle school off-season coaching stipends that were approved at the last meeting. And then the top of page 6 is also 141, and that is to amend. Audit has asked me to do an adjustment of $12,002.07 between 141 and 142 to clear up an outstanding balance that's been there for several years. And so I am actually doing a transfer in and transfer out from 141 and 142. And it's in our 999 sub-fund, so it's not affecting any individual grant. It's just affecting federal funds overall.
You're welcome, Ronnie.
Appreciate that.
Any questions on 141's budget amendments? All right, bottom of page 6, page 7, and page 8, and the top of page 9 are all Fund 142. The bottom, like I said, of 6 is the transfer out portion of the transfer. All of these are to transfer within the requested budget to fulfill the spending for each grant to finish out the year. And then the Fund 501 that's at the top of page 8 is to add into budget additional funding that was received from the state. And then the final one on page 9 is Subfund 174, the ATSI 24 grant, and that is to enter into budget that grant and move the funds to needed lines to complete the spending in that grant. Any questions?
That rural education, is that something we typically get? Is it specific on where it has to go?
Which one is that?
The rural education grant?
It's at 501 at the top of page 8.
Mhm.
That's our Title V.
Yes.
Thank you.
Is that what exactly does that remind me? I think you've told me
We
before.
use it like Title I. It helps us offset costs that we can't budget into Title I. We transfer all of Title II and Title IV into Title V and use it like Title I. So they increased Title II and Title IV, and since we're not budgeting anything in it, we transferred it into Title V. So that's why you have that increase.
Okay. The bottom of page 9 is Fund 143, the Central Cafeteria. This budget amendment request is to transfer within the appropriated budget as needed and to increase the commodities for year end. And that is just a budget sheet entry that I have to make at the end of each year because we have to claim all of our perishable commodities as an asset at the end of the year. So that's what that line is for. Okay, then the top of page 10 is Fund 177, Education Capital Projects. This budget amendment is to enter into budget funds from fund balance to cover the increased cost of the Union County High School HVAC repair and transfer within the appropriated budget from any project that had any leftover funds, so we didn't have to pull as much from fund balance.
Hey, Nancy, question?
Mm-hmm.
On page 9, where's MES?
Where's what I'm sorry?
MES? In the 143?
And 143?
Yeah. I'm looking over
She's
it.
talking about your cost centers.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
my
know
cost
I am.
centers.
But I don't
PES?
MES.
MES, Maynardville Elementary School.
Yeah, where is it?
It's not.
It's not.
They didn't need a budget amendment in that one. These were only the ones that had overspent their lines, so I only had to move into the schools that needed some lines, so Maynardville Elementary was still within budget.
Understood. Thank you.
Yeah, and at the beginning of the year, we estimate how much each school will need, and sometimes you just never know. I mean, something could break at one school that we didn't budget, so therefore we have to move it around, so.
Always breaks.
Okay.
Thank you, Missy.
Oh, you're very welcome. The bottom of Fund 189 is other capital projects, the Horace Maynard Middle School, and this is simply to budget the amendment to move the funds to the allotted budget line to cover for the land purchase that you all approved at the last budget meeting. I had to move it into a land object code, and I took that out of architects because we had not spent all of those funds. Okay. And that's all I have for tonight. Okay, I will, while I'm up here, can I remind everyone that we do have a special call meeting on the 29th. And with your all's agreement, would you care to have that meeting at the courthouse? Because I'm gonna be going straight from you guys to finance to commission within a 30-minute period. And it just makes it easier if everybody's in one place. But if that's not convenient for you, I can definitely travel, so. Okay.
Is that 6?
6 o'clock is your all's.
Okay.
And then I will be meeting with the finance committee at 6:30, and I'll be meeting with commission at 7. And that'll get us, those will just clear up any budget amendments that I have to get done prior to closing the year out on Tuesday.
So where in the courthouse will they meet? Small courtroom?
It'll be in the large courtroom.
Large courtroom.
Yes. We have all meetings there now because that's where the pro boards are for our I can't say the roll call pro, so. And that way we, that's our voting system for the commission.
It was Monday.
And then, like I said, there are no county meetings in July. And I just need to find out if you guys have one, and I can be at that one if need be. So thank you all very much. Oh, and as Greg said, the budget did get passed. I'm actually in the works tomorrow. I will be sending it off to the comptroller. Everything passed as is, so I'm very proud to have a budget done way before June 30th this year, so.
Do you see any problems with it?
I did not, no, it passed, 4 to 12, I believe it was, and it was not the school, I think, that it invoked those no votes, so it was something else, so I think it went really well this year, though. I was really happy with the outcome, and I appreciate the fact that I have 3 weeks to get it to the comptroller instead of usually one day like I usually have. So thank you all so much.
Thank you so much for your work. Thank you.
Missy, do we have anything on surplus?
No, I'm sorry, we do not.
Okay, I jumped ahead, I just.
No problem. Yeah, we usually try not to surplus anything in June, July, because we're just so swamped, because audits already started as well too. So we're actually doing budget, audit, and end of the year all at the same time. So we kind of put the non-essential duties on hold until after we get all that closed out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that takes us to personnel updates.
I tried to email that to you. If you look at your email, you should see it on there, because I didn't have
I
copies.
didn't when I looked at my email, but maybe I have to refresh or go back in or
Oh
something.
my goodness, I bet sent it to you.
I'm just
I don't
telling
have it
you.
either.
I don't need it.
I don't know if I have to
this.
refresh or do something
I
different.
think your phone's broke. It's the operator.
That is a high possibility.
I didn't say that.
Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had 5 retirements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 7 people that left either with job transfers, went to Knox County for a different job, various things happened. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more that were non-renewed as far as resignations, retirements. I will get you this list so you can look over all of them. We've had, I think I told some of y'all, when we did interviews for some elementary positions a couple weeks ago, it's the best turnout we've had in the 4 years that I've participated in this. We had like, I think 11 or 12, well, I call them kids, they're all kids to me. Candidates come in to interview, so we were able to fill all the positions back. We've had several things change at the middle school as far as positions. We moved some people around. I can pass my list around, you can look at it if you want to look at it. Because I wrote notes beside them where they went on a lot of them, if you want to see.
You just said that there were several kids, younger teachers that we brought in for the elementary level. Is that what you said?
We hired, it's 2 or 3 in
You said 11
elementary.
or 12 of them, right?
And
Were
there
in the
was
pool.
several of them went to the middle school, because if they're a K-5 license, they can teach 6th grade.
Yeah.
They can go up 1 now with that new law. So
Okay.
we were able to fill those positions in 6th grade. We had 2 positions we never filled last year at the middle school. left vacant because of enrollment numbers. I brought all those positions back, so we're fully staffed, everything at the middle school now. So all those have changed over. We've rearranged some people like going from 6th to 8th and things like that. So there's been a lot of movement there to try to shore up some areas. I feel real good with the group they've got coming in for those kids, well, those young people coming in. I quit saying kids because they're all like 30 years old. So.
Mr. Luther, tired?
He left and went back to Knox.
Is this like a bigger list than usual with
Oh yeah,
retire?
this is more than I've had as far as people moving around. And there's been some people moved to various other schools too that's on there. Kind of thing.
And I always thought it would be a great idea to do exit interviews. Are you opposed to that? To do
Well,
like,
the
why
ones
did
that-
you
the ones that
leave?
left,
What could you?
We talked to all of them.
You did? Okay.
Well, like one lady, her husband transferred jobs. Another lady got another position. A couple got another position. Other counties making more money. That kind of thing. That was.
Are they generally not about discontent with our system though?
Sometimes they are. I didn't have any on these.
How many new employees did we bring in that are younger? I ask because I'm curious if it's a large amount in a specific school, if it will have a negative impact on scores and our report card.
That I can't answer until they get in the classroom.
How many new hires did we
That's right.
bring? I don't know these people. Like, I'm talking about.
Oh, brand new?
Yes, like
Okay, give me the list
newer-
back. I'll tell you.
Newer kids that don't have a lot of
Experience.
in the classroom management things, tools in their, under their belt.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. They're not all middle school, but 9 of them are brand new teachers. You can pass that down to the rest of them. That email probably show up tomorrow morning sometime. 'Cause I sent it from my phone.
What's the color code meet on this? Is this the school?
Look at the back.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
I hope you're looking for Maynardville, good music teacher. We had a wonderful one last year. That, she was at Paulette and became Maynardville. She went back home to her home county.
Yeah, she went back to Monroe County.
But she was wonderful. I hope we get another one as good as she was.
It'll be hard.
It will
Who was
be.
it?
Odell, her last name was Odell. It was her first year teaching too, it's her first year in the
She
county.
was wonderful.
Yeah, we've had a hard time finding good quality ones at the elementary level. Yeah. Nope, she went home, can't fault her for that.
If that email don't come through, you can.
Well, it failed, it says, I don't know why. No internet again. Maybe because.
I know technology, you want me to come and fix it?
Are we looking good to fill some of these before next school year for the open positions?
We're interviewing for the chapel second grade job next week. The other ones, the TAs,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when they've got their interviews set up yet, but we'll see. But I think that's the only, I'll have to look at my list again on what else was open. The
Yeah,
music
most-
job is still not filled that she started referring to.
Yeah, most of them, there's a CDC position,
Yeah, that
a
one
TA.
that one's hard to fill. That young man went back, he went to Knox County. He left us for Knox County. His name was Joe Davis. He was from out of state anyway.
Yeah, if you could please send us that, appreciate
I'll send it
it.
to you in the morning. I don't like it. Come through the phone.
Is ours color coded too?
Is it color
I don't this, is it color coded?
Yeah, the update's color coded. That's how come I printed that up.
Or if you could scan that into us,
I like that idea too.
like the notes instead.
What's that?
Scan it and send it in, your notes.
No, you can't have my notes.
Can't have the notes.
Hey, you have a phone?
You can take a picture of it. I was trying to write down where they went, so you would know.
Yeah, for sure.
One of you make sure he's better prepared than next meeting.
This is Ron's fault, ain't mine.
If I could be better prepared myself.
No, it's miscommunication.
Vacation.
No, miscommunication.
On the Grace Rehab, we have to approve it pending final verbiage draft from the attorney, don't we? Was there not a contract that was Grace Rehab, wasn't it, correct?
Right.
Okay. Mm.
Can I ask the board if anybody else thinks exit interviews are a good idea? Just, brief question of why you're
Thought we
leaving.
did that on some level.
That we would see as a board too, like, are you opposed to that, Mr. Clay?
Because that could tie into our 5-year plan. That information.
Who would conduct those? Mr. Clay or the principal at the school?
Did you hear what I said? I asked the board if they had thoughts about doing exit interviews that the board saw as well.
Sometimes they don't wanna do that, even, it depends on
usually-
what they're leaving for.
Jessica, it's usually the
Yes.
HR people usually do
Oh.
those.
More neutral ground.
Yeah.
Okay. You said you thought that was being done to some level, right? Yes? Is that what you said?
I thought at some level it was being done. Some people, they just type you out an email and say, hey, we're gone.
Yeah.
And that's the end of it. I guess it's possible to try to email them back and say, why? But I thought on some level it's done, not necessarily
Well, usually with all
written
those,
down.
they came from the principal. They talked to the principal about they were gonna leave, and they asked why, then that's how it got back to me.
But it's just not compiled.
No.
That's why I'm saying on some level it is being done.
But
It's just not, there's not a compilation of, this is everything. It's
Right.
something you're aware of.
Right.
So I think it's something that probably Eddie and Susan could probably compile.
I
There's
think-
go ahead.
I think that would be necessary, as much as we've had change, it'd be a good set of data to look at. But
Too bad we didn't do it. This color. There's no property that they have to return. It's usually a lot of these badges and cards, right? Or do some people have
Well, they have
keys?
laptops and things, keys, they turn those into the principals. All of these folks, we knew before school was out they were leaving. I mean, they told us they were.
I would agree on an exit interview, or at least have it offered. I know they're not always gonna.
No, if
Take
they're
it
leaving,
apart.
if they're not happy, they're probably not gonna talk to you. So you write down, no comment, so I take that as bad.
Unhappy.
There you go.
I mean, we're likely to talk to you.
I would too. I mean, if someone's leaving, then why wouldn't they share, I don't know.
Some that do care enough
I can
to
say,
share,
as
that would
my
only help
travels
us
around the
grow
schools,
and
I've
do
heard
better.
nobody leaving because they were upset this year at all.
Maybe
You may
they're
have.
just silent.
Huh?
They're just silent.
Well, it could be. I mean,
That's good. That's good to know.
Any more questions on the personnel?
While she's taking pictures, take one and pass. I give you one then already?
I'd like to say.
Yeah. I need to take
Oh,
one.
that's multi.
Wait a minute, one of them's mine. Did I get that one to you? No, here, never mind. I'm gonna give Jessica my original notes.
Got an extra if you need it.
Yep.
We need it.
Yep.
I don't know. Just count it. I didn't lose it.
The first thing you got is the notes from the construction meeting yesterday, and of course, the little summary sheet, it's not little anymore, it's gotten gigantic, of the costs associated with middle school. I'll go with the maintenance things first. A couple of things that we working on right now, or finishing up, is of course, a couple of units here. Minerville had an HVAC issue, we had to work on it, had a copper line break in one of the big VFR systems. Lost a lot of freon when those break like that, so I have to recharge all that, so that's an expensive thing. Paulette, I don't know if anybody's noticed, Harold, have you been by Paulette and seen the awning?
Yeah, yeah. it
So
looks
I know
good.
it looks really good, because they never had any signage on the building, so
I know,
now
it
you have
does look
Paulette
good.
Elementary on the
Yeah.
awning when you come around through there. Missy's asked for that ever since I got here. So we got that done, and we're expanding I put this in the notes, we're gonna expand the ball field, we'll just wrap the whole ball field as a big, so it'll be a bigger playground, 'cause they don't have a lot of space down there. And there's some areas on the current playground we're gonna fix. So, the carpet was finished last week, we still got some trim work to finish there in the office. Johnson Control came by today, to do a proposal on energy savings. This is something similar to what they did in the past, not as extensive as before. Mainly what they're looking at is, something similar to what Skilled Service presented, was all lighting in the county, and the high priority HVAC issues that's on that maintenance list that I shared with you guys before. I think there's like 6 items on there. So that's one of the things. I asked them to send me just a couple of slide summary of what they presented to me today, so I can get it to you guys, so you can look at it, and then we can talk about it more. So you can see kind of what they're talking about. Skilled Services, I met with them, I put this in notes also, last Friday. They came by to look at a classroom in the 8th grade wing at the old middle school, and they're going to, basically, they're taking Anthony Malone's room, and they're gonna remodel it to what it would look like if we fixed the whole hallway. They're doing it for free of charge to set up a demo for you guys to come view. So they're doing that, I know they've already shipped stuff in to start working on that. So they're doing that free of charge to see what that looks like. Because we went through because at the minimum, if you guys decide to do that, is 8th grade hall and up the ramp, those 2 classrooms. Your cafeteria's in good shape, the library's in good shape. So that would give you 10 classrooms. If we decide we wanted to move Minerville 4th and 5th over there at some point in the near future, you'd have those 10 classrooms, plenty of space. You don't have to remodel the whole building, just fix that section. So he's coming back with a proposal for just that piece. And of course, when they came and met with us before, they talked about doing lighting in the whole county too, on their proposal. You guys have that one already. So he'll have something revised. So sometime between now and the July meeting, I think it'd be good if we get together one afternoon and go walk that hallway to look at it. Because it should be done in the next 2 weeks, probably. So we'll talk about that at the end of the meeting, when you guys might want to have a date to go tour the old middle school. Then also Performance Services, these guys are working hard. Performance Services came by on Monday just to check in where we're at on all this stuff. And I said, well, we're still in the process. The board's gonna tour the middle school and see which way they may or may not wanna go. So that's kind of where we're at on all those things on maintenance. So that's one building.
While we're on that conversation,
Okay.
the idea is that we're not gonna do anything for next school year, right?
No,
Okay.
it will not, because that's why it'd be great if we do decide to do something, do it next year while there's no kids there.
Yeah.
Because we're okay going into next year at Minerville. The kindergarten class is not as big as 5th grade leaving. So we know that that's the case, so we'll take some of the pressure off. So those should be fine, unless they get an influx of 40 kids all of a sudden for kindergarten, on top of the other ones they got. Notes for the middle school, you guys can read through this. A lot of this has not changed. Some of this, few percentage of change. The biggest concern that I have, obviously, is the boulevard, having that area finished. It's still a lot going on there, and we're running out of time. Cafeteria, all the kitchen equipment is there. They're hooking it up right now. They're putting all those things in place. The gym, the hardwood is starting to go down. They're putting the base down right now. So they'll have it floored the next couple of weeks. But I'd already mentioned that the gym will probably not be available the first couple of weeks of school as we get ready. But it's gonna be tight. If not, we were gonna be delayed a week or two to get in that building. The latest thing that happened this week is the back parking lot, from the rains and stuff, there's been excess water, it's got underneath the pavement, and those two parking lots coming down that hill. So, not the back parking lot, but the one closest to the school, they've already ripped the asphalt out, they're going to have to put it, reseal it, new rock and new asphalt. Of course, we're getting ready to pave, that's why they've caught all this. Because ETS, the engineering company that does all the checks, it came out to check all of it, and they said it was too much moisture in that area, so they ripped all out, they're re-graveling all that, to put a new binder down before we pave. So the road is gonna also have to be done the same way. They've not started on it yet. So once they get in, as long as they have weather, they can do that in about a week.
Yeah.
So that shouldn't delay us as far as trying to get in, but that's gonna be eat in the rest of that contingency money trying to get that done. They're gonna go back on the hill, the Father's Hill, because we built this thing on the side of the mountain. They're gonna go back on that Father's Hill, put another ditch or drain at the back of the back parking lot nearest the curb to catch that water coming down through there. Because it comes down off the mountain, hits the first one, and if it's a flash flood, it overflows it, and it's getting under the asphalt. So they're gonna put an extra drain in there to try to stop all that. So that's where the road is. So it's one thing after another right now.
It's good thing we got the rain.
Yeah, we needed the rain.
You
Now,
won't,
well, at least we know, because
yeah.
this would be a disaster later on.
You wouldn't wanna
6
find
months
out.
from now, you had buckles and crumbling in the pavement.
Yeah.
So at least we found it out before we got to that part, before we put the good asphalt down.
Have they done an estimate of what that's gonna cost?
I don't have it yet.
Okay.
No, they've already started work on it, but, because we have to fix it, there's no way around it. I should have that probably next week.
Do you see any other issues with the drainage on the building as
No,
far
I
as
don't.
that? Okay.
No. Of course, they moved, if you notice, the big pile of dirt has been moved. It's on the baseball field now.
Yeah.
They moved all of it over there to start spreading it out, and then they'll use it to, finish up around the school too. That's the biggest pieces. It's just gonna be really close. I've been talking to John Smith and folks about a contingency plan if we do have to stay there for 2 weeks or whatever. We can start school at the old school, no problem. My thought is, we get to the point where we know we're getting ready to move, the middle school would just be out a few days. Teachers take their stuff over, we start back on Monday.
What does that put in the tentative, so it moves, what was it, July was gonna be a move-in date?
July 13th.
So it's
we're
gonna-
looking at that week to week right now.
Okay.
If we're gonna hit that July 13th date or not. Because once we get to July 13th, I gotta know by then if we're gonna have to delay 2 or 3 weeks getting in there. I do not wanna wait till fall break.
Yeah.
I wanna be in there before Labor Day. That's my goal.
Is there any penalty going after that?
There are penalties, because if you look at this, that's handed you, they've got weather days built in because of all the weather.
Yeah.
And we got put behind because of the cave. So their tentative, their date goes to the end of August before the penalties kick in. Fate has always just said, we're gonna get you in there by August 1st.
Mm-hmm.
Till now. But they've not changed that tune. They're just saying it's gonna be close. I'm just trying to plan accordingly in case it doesn't happen.
Can you help me on the first one, on the first one? On number 2A? Is that still an issue, or we moved past that?
They've got it worked out with her. She's got to come do final inspections, and that'll be it for her. She'll be done. That's why we've had to use ETS as much to do some of the other inspections.
ETS, has that been an additional cost?
We already had them doing things for us to begin with. We've had to add some costs on this.
And what's the deal with the city's inspector?
She's part-time. She's a part-time employee. So we're at the mercy of her when she can get there. And I've already told them, I said, don't let that hold you up. You bring ETS back to get it done. So that's what that is.
Have we heard any more on like a situation on a red light or anything?
No, I'm not ready
On
about
that?
that.
I didn't know if the mayor got with you or anything on it.
No, nothing else has come back down about that. So as you read through this, if you got questions, give me a call. Like I said, we're meeting every Wednesday at 9 o'clock right now. Wednesday at 9.
Nice.
I mean, as far as the wings go, they're gonna be ready for kids. It's just, my concern is, we're gonna be able to feed them, and can we get in the boulevard without having to wear a hard hat? Other than that, we'll be fine. I mean, the wings will be ready. Just 6th and 7th grade, the front, it's done. It's probably 95% done right now.
Any more questions? Or we're not gonna do the virtual? Okay, the next one is to discuss PSBA recommended policies.
She's not presenting that.
Yeah.
They're changing it.
Yeah.
So, well, they're restructuring things.
Good.
Some things I asked for.
Good.
Ronnie, do you wanna read all of these again, or do you wanna just,
Read them, Ronnie. No, I'm just kidding.
What's in your packet, or it's actually, you don't have a packet, it's on the Chromebook, is, you recommended all, or approved all these on first reading last month, so they're brought back to you for approval on second reading. And on your Chromebook this time, I just put the straight policies, and I didn't put all that background information where you compare the old to the new and all that, I just put what it is that we're putting before you to approve.
it's good to go to sleep by, that's all I can say.
Done that a few times, have you?
Lots and napping, lots and napping, lots and napping.
She canceled. Said they had double booked.
I carried it.
Yeah, right here.
Okay, that takes us, iCare's not here, and, discuss the board policy, Miss Rebecca.
Okay, I'm passing out to you some proposed language I'm asking you all to consider amending our purchasing policy, and I'll explain it in 1 second. The only part that I would be proposing that we would consider amending is underlined, and there's a little note by it. I know you all have it, but just in case there. And I'll just share with the board the reason why I've asked us to consider this is because we recently, Mr. Clay's included in his notes to us, which I very much appreciate your notes, Mr. Clay, that Boys and Girls Club was considering coming here, and I sounded like a great thing. And I did some research on the company, as I usually do on all the companies trying to come into our schools, and they definitely have some concerning ideologies that they do promote to children. So I researched that. And then I was able to speak to the Tennessee Boys and Girls Club, and whether or not this group is coming still, I don't know. It was something the county was partnering with us to do, and I know the intentions are good. So I did speak with the director of the Tennessee Valley Boys and Girls Club, because I happen to know a friend who knew him, and I spoke with him, and he said, "What's your concerns?" And he said, "Actually, you are right about the national clubs. You are absolutely right. They do all those things. They do the whole LGBT, trans, all that kind of stuff." And he said, "However, you will not find that in East Tennessee Boys and Girls Club, because I have cut funding. I no longer accept their money. I have totally, our board is separate." He said they have pushed that on us in the past, and he said, "I have refused that, and so we have completely cut our ties with the national organization." And I said, "Wow, well, I very much support it, and I will just publicly say, if the mayor and if Mr. Clay, if they bring this to us, I think East Tennessee Boys and Girls Club is amazing, and I hope it comes to Union County." However, my thought was, if they come here, the gentleman that, and I forget his name, I know you've met him, but
Bart something.
yeah, Bart was his first name, but
Remember his last
yeah,
name.
but anyway, if they come here and they're in our schools, which I hope happens, because they're awesome, and Mr., I forget his last name, but, and Bart, their director, the current director leaves, will that continue? Will that organization continue? So I said, I felt like we needed a protection on our district. Now, I know we already have state law that prohibits certain concepts from being taught to our kids. However, since serving the last 4 years now, I have absolutely vetted companies that have been proposed to us. It's been very controversial. You all have been here when we've had these discussions, and I print out data that I find on these companies. I take screenshots of their websites, their statements, and I put it together, and I thank the board for your support. You voted alongside me, and these companies are not here anymore, one didn't come. So my concern and my reason for doing this is because now we have Tennessee law and it's good, but I feel as a county, we should also have in our purchasing policy. I called TSBA, I spoke with Ben Torres, I said, what do you think? He says, well, you could add something to your purchasing policy that prohibits the district from contracting with companies that are promoting prohibited concepts against Tennessee law to your kids. Because guys, they're out there, they do it. Centerstone, who is not here anymore, they were here in the past. They absolutely, it's very obvious, and they have over 20 locations in Tennessee. Now, what I find very disturbing is I printed out a great deal. I spend a lot of time printing out stuff on their website, which is obviously offensive to, I would say, most of the parents in Union County. They're, thank God, not here. However, now you go on their website, they have absolutely turned it around and cleaned it up. You don't see that hardly at all. So my point for doing this is, guys, these companies, I think Union County people are amazing. I respect Union County, I respect Mr. Clay, but my thought is these groups that try to come into us, tell us they have grant money, tell us they can do this for our kids, we have to vet them, guys. We have to be vigilant, or these people will be in our district. They will be in our schools. They have been in our school, and I believe they will be back if we are not vigilant. So this, to me, is an extra layer of protection. It requires the administration to vet companies to comply with this policy. I went to Ben Torres. He drafted up this language, and I'll read it briefly. The district shall ensure that any curriculum, instructional program materials, including instructional or supplemental materials, do not include or promote any concepts that would violate state law when providing instruction using instructional or supplemental materials, or when implementing the instructional program and curriculum. And this last line is the one that I'm going to give two options to the board for and explain it. Purchasing materials or contracting with vendors that promote any concept that would violate state law is prohibited. So that would basically prohibit these groups from coming to our students. So I brought this to Mr. Clay. I asked it to get put on the agenda, and vigilantly, as he should, he asked Mr. McCarty to be involved. And so I emailed Mr. McCarty. Mr. McCarty gave a wonderful legal opinion for us that I will be very transparent about with you all, because I always want to be transparent. He said he thinks that language as written, TSBA helped me draft it, is legally defensible. He said, however, I could see, and this is my correspondence with him, which Mr. Clay was included on. He said, however, I could see a possible problem, because a lot of these companies, like big textbook companies, they might be doing something in Oregon. He said they're doing different things in Oregon. They will change that for Tennessee, so this might interfere with your ability to use certain companies. So I emailed him back, which is in this that you have, and I said, how about if we change the last line, kept all the other wording, change the last line to say, and this is on page 2 of your Exhibit A, purchasing materials or contracting with vendors that will promote prohibited concepts to Union County students is prohibited. So I would ask the board to consider this. I asked it to be on the agenda for the meeting to vote on. I also would be willing, if the board wanted more time to think about it, to bring this back to you next month based on whatever you all tell me. But I feel like this is something important to have in our district, and I think right now it's kind of on the down low. I think the culture right now is kind of calling these things out more. But I see that turning again. If you look back at some of these things when I researched, and by the way, I'm happy to share these papers with anybody here. I just ask I get them back. But if the culture changes again, I feel this is our calling, I believe, to protect the children of Union County, to provide excellent education without indoctrination. That's what I feel our ability to do here on the board is. and I take my role very seriously. So I would ask the board to consider this. And the last sentence is the one, I gave you Mr. McCarty's correspondence. He said it's legally defensible, but he said, I could see it maybe causing a hiccup. But then the amended version, if the board so wanted to do that. What I passed out to you with the policy purchasing, I included my original wording because I feel making it as strong as possible is a good thing. And I also feel if a company's doing that kind of stuff, I personally don't want to see our money go to them. But that I know I am very passionate for this, so if the board chooses to not do it or to go with the second option, I understand. So that's all I had to say. I hope if there's any questions, thank you for your time.
I would ask Mr. Clay, has this been a problem?
Not to my knowledge.
I sometimes feel like we're have a solution to a problem we don't have. And I feel like this is a solution looking for a problem, because I know when a contract comes before us, we have to look at it. I know sometimes when textbook material comes across, you have teachers vetting it, and I know that they're doing their due diligence with all that. So I think sometimes we have a solution looking for a problem. If this is not a problem, I don't see the point in having, because this can be binding. I mean, when you do this, there may be a gray area that we're holding up curriculum about because we have a philosophical disagreement about a curriculum or a textbook that has been provided by the state of Tennessee and approved. All of our textbooks are approved by the state of Tennessee. But we may have a personal bias against something in those that slows down that process if you start putting this into effect. So that would be my concern. It's not an issue, so why are we developing a policy of something that is not an issue?
If I could.
I think you're being
rebut.
futuristic. I think that's what
I
you're
think you're
saying.
being
I'm looking,
proactive.
being proactive.
Proactive
and
instead of
doing it
reactive.
in- Yeah.
Yeah, definitely I would say it is proactive. However, I would say whether or not it's a problem, and I respect Mr. Clay, but I feel like this has come to us. We had Centerstone here, and until I questioned it, and when she came to the board and gave her spiel, she was very nice and professional and told the board she followed Tennessee law. I researched the company. They do not follow Tennessee law. And anyone can see this is who they are. It is very plain. We've had other groups, communities and schools has tried to come here. I researched them, the board, I'm thankful you supported. I brought concerns to the board, you all voted with me, and we did not get them. The Boys and Girls Club, if they come under Mr. Bart, and I don't remember his last name, I fully support it. If Mr. Bart ever retires, I would be very concerned about Boys and Girls Club. And I'm sad to say that. I'm very sad to say. I actually purposely didn't research them for a very long time, and then I kept seeing it. And then I saw it in a folder, a little brochure on them. I said, I should just look at this, because I was really not trying to fight another battle. I really wasn't. And so I looked at them, and I was like, oh my goodness. And I looked more into them, and I pulled the stuff up online, and boy, oh boy, was I ever shocked. But we've had them before. And then, I feel that, yes, it is somewhat proactive, but I don't feel it's, and I know that's a subjective opinion, but that's my opinion. And if the board chooses not to go along with me, that's your choice, but I did want to bring it.
Mr. Clay, do you see if anything binds any of the existing contract? And when we do adoptions for anything?
This would be impossible for me to go backwards and use right now.
Yeah, you can't retro that.
Well, I mean, like going forward, like if you see any issues,
Well,
like
it's just like Dr. Carter
Yeah.
referred to. The biggest thing is textbooks.
Mhm.
When we do those are all state adopted. Teachers vet them. They're on the committees. They go to all the things.
Yeah.
We put them on display for community people come in and review. If they do, they do. They don't, they don't. Harold, I know he came to a bunch of them. Looked at with Dr. Effler down there, didn't you, Harold? Look,
I will say this isn't mainly aimed at textbooks, because I already know Tennessee does a pretty good job with our textbooks. I already agree with that. However, this is for the third-party entities that come to us trying to promote mental health, which that's a problem, but unfortunately with that, there's a whole lot of things that go along with that. Trying to promote, this one was Family Life Education. They came to us and they said they had a grant to give us this for free if we went along. So it's not the curriculum that we are really discussing with this policy. This is those third-party groups that are.
So that's what I'm saying, they have to come before the boards.
Yeah.
And it has to be approved by us. So if they come before us and say, hey, we don't do all that stuff, and then they do it, then we're gonna have to get rid of them. It's the same difference. It's a contract that we can dissolve if we find that they're doing something outside the scope of what we have a contract with them for. So all these things come before the board individually, otherwise. So it's that gray area that gets caught up in a net that really wasn't intended to get caught up in, would be my concern. Because I trust our board is going to do what's best for our students. So sometimes when you have policy, there are things that get caught up that it was an unintended consequence of the policy.
And the second option that I provided the board would be much more lenient. It would be any group, and honestly, if that statement, any group that promotes these to Union County students, that's a huge problem. If that's actually happening, that's a problem.
And that's not a problem we can stop.
But, well, for one thing, this would be a policy we can fall back on and say, it violates our policy. And it violates Tennessee law for that matter. But it violates our policy, these third-party groups.
All I see this is just going back, revisiting state law, and making an emphasis on it. Like this addendum on this right here. I mean, all it does is because everything has to go back to state law. So it just makes more emphasis on it.
Do we need to put this off for the next meeting, or do?
It's just not a voting item from the time.
Okay.
Another question I had, and this is just over the general purchasing policy we have. I know everything goes, it says to the principal, like in the schools, is that including custodial? Is that including like different
Custodial
things,
district
teacher?
level.
So that goes to Mike and stuff, cause I didn't know how that worked, and if do we still have any like cards in the system, or is it just like work orders or change orders, or how does that work?
There's
Or purchase
you mean like
orders.
a credit card?
Yeah, like a charge
We do
card.
that for direct pays, but Missy's in control of those for the most part. I mean, we have one in our office for our purchases, but she has one for the county purchases too.
Okay.
Probably the vast majority of things are always purchase order though.
So it's all purchase order, because I know that's a more streamlined process than the card and having to go back and revisit the statements. You have anything to add to that, Missy?
With us being an 81 Act,
Yeah.
we have a full-time purchasing agent.
Mhm.
All purchases must be approved by my purchasing agent before they can be made, period. You all would have to come up with a policy that would deal, before the PRs get to us.
Yeah.
Because that would be the only way to curtail that, because when we get a purchase order and there is money available,
Mhm.
then we make the purchase.
He was sitting there
But I would definitely, anything that you all put into policy with purchasing, I would definitely need to talk with CTAS and
Okay.
audit, because of the fact that my purchasing agent, which is Crystal Flatford,
Mhm.
is the only person
Yes.
in the county who is authorized to sign any contract. So even when you all approve a contract, until Crystal signs it, it is not in effect, because we are an 81 Act county. So if you all did initiate anything like this, you all would have to come up with a way to monitor it prior to it reaching my office. But I would have to run all of this through CTAS and
Mhm.
audit, because of the fact that we are an 81 Act county, so that gives my office a little more say-so in the purchasing.
Right now, do you see it streamlined? I mean, as far as having any questions on things coming in, has it been pretty straightforward
Yeah,
with the schools?
we wouldn't, the only thing that we would do is make
Mhm.
sure that it's a reputable company.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any debarment against them, anything business license and so
Mhm.
forth. That would be the things that we would check. And as long as the money is in that line and it is allotted, we will let that PR go through. So that's what I'm saying. My office would not be monitoring anything for content. We look more at the monetary
Yeah.
value and whether or not this company is actually a suitable
Yeah.
company for us to be doing business with.
Yeah, I was just meaning monetary, not as far as
Okay,
content
monetary,
and stuff,
yes, we have
yes.
a very streamlined system. And
Okay.
We have, you know, when we receive the purchase order, we look at the fund right then, see if the money's there, then we create the PO, we send it back to the
Mhm.
person that's asked for it, and then the purchase can be made.
Okay. I just wanna make sure. I knew in the past there was been, from what I was told, cards and stuff, and I just wanna make sure that was just a purchase order.
The P card is very much monitored. I have somebody in my office who she looks at the purchase orders or for the purchase card weekly.
Mhm.
She does a report and she keeps up with it, and knock on wood, there has never been a case of fraud that has got through my office on the P cards.
She will track you down and get that receipt, trust
Yes.
me.
That's what I was wanna make sure if they've had any issues getting receipts or anything.
My girls are ruthless.
Yeah.
Well, you have to sign the card out.
Yeah.
Everybody don't just run around with the card.
We have a log, you have to come in and sign out the
Yeah.
card before they can even use it. And they're all under lock and key at my office, except for, I will say that the director of schools, the mayor, and the EMS director have their own cards. But
Okay.
all the rest of them go through my office. And if I were to see any problem with
Mhm.
those cards,
I don't
I
think
could
that's
pull
our-
those back to my office.
Okay.
But right now, I feel like everything's moving smoothly, and we
Mhm.
haven't had any problems.
Okay, thank you for that.
You're welcome. Sorry, I got off on the other.
Oh, you're
thing.
good.
I
Yeah.
wasn't-
Yeah,
I
you're
wasn't
good.
following your question.
Okay, we're gonna take a short break.
started, didn't
Right
we?
here, it's this verbiage right here.
Your agenda's not
It's
ready,
the fourth
right?
paragraph in the.
Hang on a minute.
Yeah.
I handed this to everybody, and it's the fourth paragraph as written. So it would be the fourth paragraph as written, because I handed one to everybody one of these.
This is the whole thing.
Yeah, and that's the strongest language option, option one.
Is that what he approved too?
Commissioner McCarty said it was legally defensible, but he could see it causing some hiccups. But he says it's understandable and legally defensible, and that's in this, but he did say it could cause.
With this last sentence, right?
Yes, just the last sentence. So I have an option 2 of the last sentence that is in the,
This is one you want added?
that's what I'm gonna propose, if the
Fourth
board,
paragraph in the handout, right?
Yeah,
Um,
this is the option 2, that's option 1, that's option 2. And he said this is.
So are you gonna propose 1 or 2?
I'll propose one, and if someone wants to amend it, that's fine. And he said that one, he sees no concerns with whatsoever.
if it was me, I would do 8 and I would do 8A because it's completely separate. The second, this is for everything else is the second. Okay, so you want to do 8, you're going to do 8A. Policy should be striking whatever she wants. Grace rehab is with approved. With the approved training verbiage.
Well, on a
On
positive
both.
note, the fire
Rehab.
marshal has approved us to move in furniture on the 23rd of June.
Way to go.
Yay. I saw that.
That'll be handy.
Yeah, we got need it.
Great.
I know.
Is that it? That was it, right?
He
There
was on
another
site
one?
today going through a bunch of
Okay.
stuff. Fire marshal was. Yeah, you go there.
It's a little nerve-wracking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's all stand. Jimmy, will you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance
To
to
the
the flag of the United
States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. Mr. Cook, will you lead us in prayer?
Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for this gathering together and each individual. They know their responsibilities. Lord, we ask that you would guide them in carrying them out. Lord, let us make no decision that would hurt a child and the upbringing of that child. We want everyone to be treated equally and to be treated fairly. Lord, we ask that you would watch out for us, guide and direct us. Protect us from evil. Help the administrators of this school, all the teachers, all the students. Even though it's summertime, they still need protection. They still need guidance. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Call the meeting to order. Motion to amend the agenda.
I make a motion to amend the agenda to add AA, purchasing policy 2.805.
I have a question. So these are to be approved on second reading, are we saying,
Which one's these? Sorry.
The one that she's proposing be a first reading.
oh, I didn't, oh, you're saying 8A,
8A.
not to be included with 8.
Correct. It will be
Okay.
separated.
Just for clarification, is that which option? Is it just open to vote, just to vote the policy on
Open
first?
for motion and vote.
Okay, thank you.
We're voting on all of them. 8A is gonna be with them.
No,
No, it's gonna be
8A would be
separate.
separate.
It'll be separate.
Yes.
On first reading.
Do I have a second?
Am I allowed to second? I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
No. I oppose. That's, I guess I wasn't clear on that.
You seriously oppose?
Yeah. I don't know how. Nay.
Do you realize you're opposed to amending the agenda?
I do. Because we're amending it to something else. I mean, what are we supposed to do? Isn't that
But
the
he was
reason we
the only
vote?
opposing vote,
So it
so
doesn't,
the
it
motion
rolls
carried.
forward. Okay.
Okay. Okay, I need a motion to approve the agenda.
Make a motion?
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I don't know what we just voted on.
The first one was to
To-
amend the agenda by
Okay.
adding the AA.
Okay,
The second one was to approve the agenda.
okay.
As amended.
With that,
As it-
AD,
yeah.
right?
With 8A.
Mhm.
I oppose. I don't know. I don't like the idea of bringing things the day of the board meeting and putting them on the agenda. It really hasn't worked out for us in the past. We do that almost every meeting now, is we amend our agenda for something that we hear that night, and I just don't think it's really working out for us. So that's my opposition to it. Not necessarily that I would oppose this. I don't approve of adding things on the agenda. It's not worked out for us lately. We have been doing that a lot lately, amending our own agenda.
I understand. I will say I did ask for this 2 months ago, and then I asked for it again this month. So I did ask for it to be on the agenda several times.
Okay.
So just so you know, I didn't want to, yeah, and it wasn't, I think it was in our book, or it was in our Chromebook, I think, I hope.
Okay, the motion carried, correct?
This was on our Chromebooks, June 12th. Okay, go ahead.
It was on it to workshop and not meeting.
Correct.
It wasn't a voting item.
Okay, was there any public comments?
Mhm.
Okay, approve or disapprove the consent agenda?
Motion approved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Approve or disapprove budget amendments and transfers? Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
It was in consent.
All in favor?
Roll call.
Ms. Buck,
4.
Dr. Carter,
4.
Mr. Collins,
4.
Mr. Cook,
4.
Mr. Hamilton,
4.
Ms. Lott,
4.
Mr. Washington.
4. Okay, item number 6, approve or disapprove items for surplus. We didn't have any. Item number 7, approve or disapprove contracts. Do I have a motion?
Motion
Pause.
approved.
You've got to add that.
There's some debate of what
Pending attorney approval on Grace Rehab.
Yeah, pending
Attorney.
attorney approval on Grace Rehab.
Okay. So Danny
Danny
made,
Wayne was
Danny
there.
Wayne made a motion.
Yeah, is that the intent of your motion, Mr.
what now?
Collins, to approve them with pending attorney approval on the Grace Rehab contract?
Approve the contracts? Yes.
Yes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Buck,
4.
Dr. Carter,
4.
Mr. Collins,
4.
Mr. Cook,
4.
Mr. Hamilton,
4.
Ms. Lott,
4.
Mr. Washington.
4. Okay, item number 8, approve or disapprove on the second reading, the board policy revisions. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Well, we're flying. Item number 9, okay, 8A, excuse me. You read that, I can't.
Is there a motion to approve or disapprove 2.805 on the first reading?
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Can I ask a question? Is there discussion? Are you saying to have it done on the first reading?
Yes.
Oh,
8A on the first reading?
but we will have a second reading, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next month.
Just for clarifications, is that what the language in that? Is that the Union County or is that the state law?
Option A or
Option B or
As-
B?
As I did option 1, but if you wanna make a motion to amend it, I'll consider it a friendly amendment, and it's for the second option, that's less
Yeah, but
restrictive.
what is the first option?
It is the one that prohibits, it's as this was printed, this is what I received
Okay.
from TSBA, it says purchasing materials and
state law.
contracting. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So that's your motion to approve option 1 as printed.
Yes.
Do I have a second?
Jimmy asked for it to be open for discussion. Did you?
I was just
Yeah,
saying,
yeah.
this is just the first reading, it'll have to have a second reading.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I got a motion. Do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Okay.
All in favor? We got a motion and we got a second,
Second.
folks.
Yep. Aye. I'm in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I oppose. I don't wanna say aye or nay.
Thank you.
And Mr.
No.
Collins.
Thank you.
Mr. Collins indicated he opposed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it, right?
Mr.
The
Cook?
only two. Mr. Cook, did you oppose that as well?
No, I'm really not sure what we're doing.
That's right, I don't wanna vote on it right now.
Might be good to do a roll call.
Okay, let's do a roll call.
Ms. Buck,
4.
Dr. Carter,
Against.
Mr. Collins.
No.
Mr. Cook,
Abstain.
Mr. Hamilton,
4.
Ms. Locke,
4.
Mr. Washington.
4.
Motion carries. You have 4 in favor.
Okay, now the next one is the board meeting in July. We need to discuss whether we think we need to have this or not. The county doesn't have one in July. And Mr. Clay said that if we had something pressing, that we would call a meeting and take care of it. And I want to get the board's opinion of that.
I have a quick question. I know Mr. Clay mentioned about the demo at the middle school. Would be in favor of a workshop. Will that fall in that timeline, or when do you think it
Yeah,
will be
I
done?
think we should do that sometime in July. If you don't wanna have a formal meeting, we can still get together to look at the middle school at some point in July. That's what I would suggest.
What do you think?
I don't know of anything that's coming up that has to be voted on in July.
Would that be a good opportunity to have, Charlie says something about a workshop. Would it be a good opportunity to have a workshop?
We could just do it over there.
I was just
Yeah.
thinking about the demo and stuff, cause you
They
said
should have
that'll
it
be.
ready, well, sometime after the 4th. I mean, that'd be a good time to go look at it. Cause you guys had mentioned you wanna walk the middle school anyway to look at some of the things that was brought up in those other proposals too, so.
Is that the pleasure of the board?
Yeah, what date? Selecting a date.
So it's a workshop at the new middle school.
What date you want that, Mr. Clay?
How's the 16th? Anybody go on vacation then?
I
Is
can
that on a
afford that.
Thursday or what day of the
That's on a
week?
Thursday.
Okay.
Thursday.
6 o'clock.
We'll do 6 o'clock in the old middle school library. How's that?
Old middle school.
The old middle school library.
Old middle school library.
And don't forget, you gotta have a special call on June 29th.
Yep, June
Yeah.
29th, 6 o'clock courthouse.
Anything else?
It's July 15th.
July 16th.
July
It's
16th,
Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Anything else? Need a motion to adjourn.
Motion adjourned.
A second.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.